taking a moment to move the flesh of your buttocks behind you so you feel like you can, we're gonna move into really feeling grounded today. So start with a grounded seat. Feel like your sitting bones are grounded. But take a moment to bring your hands in your thighs and root your thighs downward. Just by pressing your hands down. What that also does at the same time is it elevates the spine upward. So notice the balance between the downward rooting energy and the upward rising through your spine energy. And then just see if you can maintain that balance with your hands. Now just softly resting on your thighs with your palms up. And then find the balance in your body, kind of leaning a little bit forward, a little bit back. And then come into stillness. Letting your eyes close, your chin level to the floor. And take a moment to just observe your breath, the natural rhythm of your breath as you breathe in and out through your nose. And feel just the energy of the breath. Notice the rising energy of the breath on the inhale. And that feeling of ground on the exhale. Without having to make anything happen, just notice that breath has both of those components, the sense of rising and a sense of rooting. And notice within your body, within your breath, what do you need more of right now to feel balanced? A little more lift, a little longer inhale, or a little more ground, a little longer exhale. Whatever you need more of right now, just give yourself a few breaths. Moving in that direction so that you feel well balanced. Between the rooting and the rising, the in-breath and the out-breath. And you softly open your eyes. Take your hands by your sides with your fingertips on the floor. Let your fingertips lightly touch and then inhale, find that lifting energy as you exhale, take your shoulders back. Inhale, bring your arms up, clasp your fingers, take your index finger, now go straight up. And then find that rising energy here from the base of your spine up through the fingers, feel the in-breath. And as you exhale, again, feel the hip bones rooting down, sitting bones rooting down, feel the out-breath. Take one more in-breath. And then exhale, release your hands back by your sides, fingertips to the floor. And then bring your left palm on the floor. Inhale, float the left arm up. And then slide your hand away from your hips a little bit more, let the elbow bend and reach through the whole right side of your body. Feel your right sitting bone root. And then feel length from the side of the waist all the way through the skin of the palms into the fingers. So one long connected in-breath from your hip to your fingertips. Good, exhale, release that hand back down. You bring that palm to your side, take the other arm up, bend the elbow, and feel again that left sitting bone, yes, rooting. But then from the top of the hip bone through the fingers, everything rising. You take a long in-breath in. Good, exhale, release your hand. You bring your legs straight out in front of you now with your heels down, your toes up. Take your fingers once again on the side of your hips. Inhale, find that lift through the spine. Notice your low back. And so rock a little forward and sleep so you feel like you're coming a little bit forward from the pelvis. Good. And then as you inhale your breath, point your toes away from your knees. As you exhale, draw back. Bring your awareness right into the ankle joint as you move in this way. So sometimes what can feel off ground, move into standing poses. is tightness in the ankles can keep us feel a little off. Make circles now with your ankles. We're just kind of opening, awakening those ankle joints, and then go the other way with the circles. And then put the toes straight up to the ceiling again, and close your feet like a book. So little toe sides of the feet towards each other, and then open them the other way. Do a couple of those. And just kind of freeing up the ankle joints before we come into standing poses. Yeah. Good. And then with your toes up again, feet a little bit apart. Take your knees to the back of your left knee and draw that thigh bone towards your chest, spine tall. As you inhale, extend that foot forward, pressing the palm out of your foot forward like you're pressing on a gas pedal as you exhale in the back. Do a couple of those with awareness in the knee joint, just noticing. What do you notice about the mobility, the feeling of your knee joint as you move in this way? You know, waking up the knee joint itself. One more on that side. And then lower that foot down. Bring your heels to the back of the other leg. Again, thigh bone towards the chest, spine tall, inhale, reach the ball on your foot away, exhale, go. And do a couple of those. Just noticing maybe something different one side versus the other. The sensation right in the center of the knee joint itself. One more in breath, one more exhale, bring that leg down. Bring your feet back together again, rock a little forward in your sitting bones. Moving from the center of that left hip joint. Rotate the thigh bone out, so the little toe side of the foot goes to the floor, and then slide it as far as you can to the side. Then rotate it in, the big toe side of the foot to the floor and slide it back. So you're moving awareness just from the hip joint and rotating in and out. You notice again what you notice in the hip joint. Just kind of waking up the hip joint. And then come back to center and come to the other side. Move to the side of the foot out, slide it out, rotate it in, slide it out. And rotate it in. And back. Then bring your hands to the back of both knees. Take your feet in towards your hips, wide apart. Take your forearms in front of your shins, and as you inhale, find that upward lift in your spine. So wrap your forearms around the front of your legs. Draw your spine up. Your heels can just dangle, that's fine. But as you exhale, feel your heels press, feel your sitting bones root, your spine lift. You're going to move from here to standing. So if you want to put your hands on the ground and stand up, you can. But you can try the challenge, reach your hands forward and see if you can root the heels down and then come up. However you get up, press your heels down, hook your thumbs, and reach the arms up. And then exhale. Reach your hands back by yourselves. Take your blankets off of your mat. Have your blocks in front of you. And stand with your feet parallel and hip distance apart. So we're going to practice the breath of joy to kind of, again, when we do this practice, we'll really connect first with the rooting. So looking at your feet, heels are rooted, feet are parallel, toes a little in. Take your hands to your hips for a moment. And as you exhale your breath, feel your heels connect. So the breath of joy goes like this. Watch first and I'll talk you through. Your inhale is 3 sniffs and your arms move on those sniffs. So it's inhale, inhale, inhale. Your exhale is through your mouth and 1, ha. So, oops. So we'll do several rounds like that, and then I'll guide you to shift from exhaling through the mouth to exhaling through the nose. Certainly, if you have any shoulder issues doing that, you can modify. You don't have to take the arm all the way overhead. You can go here, here, and then just back. Okay. So rooting first, exhale the breath, go your heels root, and then begin. On your next exhale, start to exhale through your nose. And as you move, just feel the rotation, the movement from your hips moving back. The swing of your shoulders, again, making any modification with your shoulders that you need. We'll do 2 more. Now land up with your fingers clasped. Inhale your breath, index fingers pointing up. And as you exhale, really feel the heels connect. Take 1 more in breath here. And then exhale, release your hands by your side and take a moment here to just observe your breath, your body. And a sense of upward lift through the spine and the in-breath. A sense of downward root with the heels on the out-breath. Take your hands down in front of your thighs, press your palms into your thighs, take your hips back, take your hands onto your blocks with your wrist right under your shoulders. Come into a flat back forward bend, and as you inhale your breath, just feel that lengthen your spine, forehead parallel to the floor. As you exhale your breath and press the heels, take the top of your thigh bones back. And just observe here your body in this shape. Can you feel that balance? With energy rising, lengthening the spine on the in-breath. Of a sense of ground rooting through the heels on the out-breath. So after your next exhalation, the bottom of the exhalation from your hip crease, just fold all the way forward. Fold the elbows if it's any way just uncomfortable for you. You can keep your hands in the blocks. Take a glance at your alignment of your knees to your toes. So hug your thigh muscles in and take your upper thighs back so that your knees point towards your second toe, not inward towards your ankles. You'll release your hands to your mat, just set your blocks out to the side. And step your feet back and come into plank pose. With your low belly. As you inhale again, find that balance, the lengthen your spine in the in-breath. And as you exhale, that connection to ground, hands and feet on the out-breath. Take 1 more in-breath here. Exhale, knees wide, big toes touch. Come back into child pose, take the hips back, stretch the arms long. But then let your forearms rest, let your forehead rest. Find your breath again. Even in this shape, as you inhale the breath, there's a little bit of light feeling in the spine. As you exhale, the body is softening. And try bending your elbows more and taking them wider and see if you can connect with the back of your spine between your shoulder blades. Just softening a little more forward. Good. Now inhale, lift your head up, walk your hands forward so the elbows are straight. Press the heel of your hand down, take the hips back, find that lengthening in breath all go through the side of your waist. And then come on up to all fours, take your knees together behind your hips. And then lower your body all the way down to the floor. Anchor the toenail side of your feet with your feet apart, heels a little bit out, thumbs mid-chest, and then coil the elbows in and inhale under the cover. We'll do your tailbone up. We've talked about that a lot. And then as you exhale, 1 vertebra at a time, lower back down. And 2 more times with your breath as you inhale, connect with that rising energy, just flowing through your whole spine. And as you exhale, connecting with the ground, your whole body just kind of returning to earth. And 1 more time, inhale, coming. And exhale. You tuck your toes, lift your hips, come to your hands and knees. You find that length in your spine again. So take an in-breath, feel the length. On the out-breath, feel your whole hand connected, especially the index finger knuckle, but all the knuckles. Keeping that connection, lift your knees, come into downward facing dog. Spinning your heels slightly out. Then taking a glass again of the, let's take your feet closer to your hands and wider apart. Yeah. There we go. So connecting again, the upper inner thighs reaching back, so your knees point the same way as your toes. Second toe. And take a long in breath here. Top thighs reach back on the outward. Inhale your gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands. Spin your heels out, fold the elbows. And roll in. Fold in together. And then as you exhale, take your hands to your hips, take your elbows back, and come all the way up. And clasp your fingers, take the index fingers straight up, thumb back. As you exhale, root the heels down, take your thighs back. And find another balanced in breath. Connect with that upward lifting energy. And another out breath. Connect with the heels pressing down, downward moving energy. And then release your hands for yourselves. Standing into Tadasana, one more, just observe your breath. Balancing your body with your breath. Upward lifting energy. Then now take your blocks by the sides of your feet behind your heels. I'm going to turn this over, start from the right foot forward. And then take your hands to your hips and take your left foot back. Line your arch up with your front heel. And spin your heel towards the back of your mat, a little more than the pinky toes of the foot. Yeah. And then looking at your front foot, rotate the toes a little bit out. Hands on your hips, rotate your hips forward. And then open them back up to the middle of the mat. Do that a couple of times, and what I want you to notice is the rotation of your whole pelvis. So when you turn the whole pelvis towards the front foot, that front thigh bone turns out a little bit. Just feel that. Good, and we'll land just kind of facing forward, extend the arms out, and rotate the pelvis towards that front foot and reach the arm long. So more turn the pelvis, turn the pelvis. Yes, yes. And then lightly let that hand touch the block. Right by your calf, this is a great place. As you inhale the breath, connect with that rising energy, the spine lengthens. There's length from hand to hand. And as you exhale from the hips, press into both heels. So the pelvis is turning towards the front leg. And that front thigh bone is reaching towards the back foot. Find your breath here. And take another long in breath. As you exhale, take that arm, extend it long by your ear. And then look at your front foot, bend the knee, lower your block by the ankle, come into side angle, Parsvakonasana. Find your breath again here. Press both heels. Long in breath from the back heel through the top fingers. Round in root, out breath from the heels to from the hips to the heels. And take one more breath. And inhale that top heel straight up from your shoulder. Look towards that thumb. Keep your legs just as they are. And come on up to warrior two. So your gaze over the front fingers and connecting again that in breath, the whole spine loose. And the out breath from the hips to the heels, flat ground. Take another inversion. Good, then exhale, lower that hand to the block, take the other hand to the opposite block, turn it the same height, lift your back heel on, come into a lunge. From the back heel to the crown of your head, find the length. Yeah, as you exhale, just let the hips drop a little bit more. Set your blocks off to the side. Step your front foot back and come back into plank pose. Find your breath. Long in breath through the spine. Connecting with hands and feet on the out breath. Take another long in breath in. Exhale, drop your knees wide, big toes touch. Come back into child pose, letting your forearms rest, letting your head rest. Finding your breath here. Inhale, come up to all fours. You take your knees under your hips, your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, find that lift and lengthen your spine. Notice to really lengthen the spine, the low belly needs to lift a little bit. And then also really connect every knuckle pad with your mat. Keeping that connection to the ground, tuck your toes, lift your hips and come back into downward facing dog. Reaching both heels back, both thighs back. Spin the heels slightly out. Notice how that helps Good. Your upper inner thighs move back a little bit more, back and wide. Top of the thigh bones reach back. Find your breath here. Find that sense of balance, the upward lifting energy through the spine. That grounding energy from the hands and from the hips to the heels as you exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands. Bend your knees quite a bit. Line your feet up parallel. Close your elbows. Take your hips back and just some drop. Feel how that connects with the feeling of ground. Your heels drop, your hips drop, lift your head up. And then take your palms to the back of your calves, press them together, and then slowly straighten your legs part way or all the way, whatever feels good to you. But think about the upper inner thighs moving back towards the back of your mat. You press the palms and calves together. Notice how that helps you kind of find your middle. And then shift your weight a little bit more forward so your hips start to approach alignment with the ankle. You find your breath here. Feel that connection to the ground. Take your heels to your hips, take the elbows back. Inhale, come all the way up. Once again, clasp your fingers, take the index fingers straight up. You find that upward lifting energy. As you exhale, feel the heels connect with the ground. Take one more in-breath. Exhale, release your hands. Come back to Tadasana. Notice your breath, notice your body. And then bring your blocks once again by the sides of your feet. Behind your heels. Take your hands to your hips. Step your right foot back now. Lining your back heel up with the back edge. Moving it rather back towards the back edge of the mat, a little more than the little toes on the foot. And then lining that left heel up with your right arch. And turn your front foot slightly out. Yeah. And again, rotate your hips towards the front foot and towards the middle of your mat. I really like to do this to wake up my hips, especially in the morning or after a run. Just kind of finding that movement in your hips. And then facing the long edge of your mat, inhale, extend the arms out. Exhale, press into the heels. And then turn the hips towards that front foot. Rotate your whole pelvis. And then reach the hand forward, lightly taking it to the block. With the top hand straight up. Find that balanced energy again. Inhale, lightly every vertebrae. Exhale from your hips to your heels, moving down, and that left thigh bone goes towards your right foot. So reaching it back. Just feel that balance in your body. In breath and in your body. Hips to heels round. Spine, arms lengthening. Exhale, take that right arm long by your right knee. Look at your left toes, bend your left knee, and lower your block by the ankle. Good, find your breath here. Back heel to fingers, everything lengthening. Top of your left thigh bone, dropping, grounding. Heels grounding. Find that balance. Listen to both heels, take your top hand up. Look at your thumb, keep your legs just as they are, so really connect with heels. And then climb up to warrior two. Gazing with the front hands, feel that upward lift. The spine of the in-breath, feel that connection when you out now. Let that top left thigh bone drop even more. Take another in-breath here. Good, exhale, cartwheel, one hand to each block. Lift your right heel up into a lunge here. You find that long in-breath from the inner heel of the back foot through the crown of your head. The connection with ground from the front heel, the back ball of your foot as you exhale your breath. We'll set the blocks off to the side. When your heels flat, connect with ground in your knuckle pads, set that left foot back, come back to point knees. Warm the breath through the spine, connected to the ground on the out breath. And take one more in breath here. Exhale, take your knees wide, big toes touch. You come back into child pose. You press through the heel of the hands, take the hips back, and then let your forearms rest. And find your breath. Walk your hands forward, inhale your gaze forward, come up to all fours. Take your knees under your hips. Once again, engage the breath to lengthen the spine, low belly loose. And then tuck your toes, lift your knees, come into downward facing dog. And then right away, finding your breath. Heels out, top thighs reaching back on the out breath. Full handprint rooted in the lengthening, rising energy on the in breath. From the heel of your hands up to your armpits, all the way to the top of your hip bones. And take one more full body in breath. And one more full body out breath. Inhale on your gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet to your knees. Heels wide, bend your knees again. Take your hips way back. Way back. Yeah. In fact, for a moment, press the heels, take the hips way back, and reach the arms forward. And take the hips even more back. Yes. So sit low. Inhale, find your leg. And then exhale, fold forward. And once again, take your palm to the back of your calves. Press them together. And slowly start to straighten your legs. Stop where you feel that sweet spot, which is the middle of your hamstring. So you don't have to straighten your legs all the way. Just find the balance, the palms pressing into the calves, kind of helping you hug into the middle, like your muscles are hugging in towards your bones. And then shift your weight a little forward so your hips are over the ankles. And as you exhale the breath, really connect energetically from the hips to the heels, just rooting down. Put your hands to your hips, take the elbows back. Inhale, come all the way up. Once again, put your fingers, hit the index fingers straight up. Find that rising energy on the in-breath. And as you exhale, through the heels press. Take one more in-breath. Exhale, let your hands just float back into your sides. Sinking into Tadasana. And feel the flow of your in-breath. Feel the out-breath. Feel your connection here with them. Keep your blocks now in the middle of the long position you're at. And then take your feet out wide so you're facing your blocks. Spin your heels slightly up. Your toes slightly, and lift your toes. And stretch them out like you can stretch your fingers. And get the little toe side of your foot to press. And the big toe ball onto your foot to press. And then take your hands in the front of your thighs and take your hips way back. Come forward slowly, pause part way. Hands on your thighs, take your thighs back more and your heart forward more. So pause here, inhale, feel all the space along your spine. And then lightly take your hands in the blocks, wrists under your shoulders. Inhale, find that length in your spine again. Exhale, top of the thighs, press back, heels root down. From your hip crease, fold forward and take your hands to the back of your ankles. Let your elbows roll forward. Good. Inhale, take your hands to the front of your shins, put back into that long flat back. Take one hand over the other on your blocks. Find your breath again. Inhale, lengthen. Listen to the heels, exhale, root. You can press your hips and your elbows back. And just pause for a moment, notice your body. And step your feet a little bit closer. And take your heels in, your toes out. Lift and stretch your toes, give a little to the side of your foot to press. Take your hands in the front of your thighs again. Start to bend your knees. And with your hands, rotate your thighs out. And take a glance, go slow, look at your knees, pointing in the same direction as your toes. Slide your hands midway down the thigh now. So invite your knees to go the same direction of your toes, the hips to go way back. Take your forearms in the inner thighs. And press the forearms back. And then let your torso, just kind of your head drop, your torso fold inward. Find your breath here. You can take your hips a little higher. So don't let your hips drop below your knees, just about knee high or a little higher. And then find your breath. Feel your heels connect. Feel your inner thighs opening again to a sweet spot. So you're not forcing, you're just finding the breath and allowing your body to open. And we'll take one hand and then the other on top of your thighs. Press into your thighs to extend the spine. And then straighten your legs. Take your hands to your hips, spin your heels out again. And take one block, actually take both blocks behind your heels. And spin your right foot out, your left heel back. And look at your right foot again. Spin your right toes out. So we're going to come back into Parsvakonasana after doing that kind of forward bend to see just kind of how that might shift your connection to ground, the openness in your hips. So rotate your hips towards the front foot. And instead of thinking bend the knee, put this hand, your right hand on the right thigh crease and press downward. So right hand, right thigh crease, press down. Go slow, press both heels, press the thigh bone down and rotate the thigh slightly out. So your knee goes in the direction of your second toe. Feel that connection with ground. It's a really kind of grounding position. Take your forearm on the inner thigh again. And use your forearm to just kind of drop the thigh bone down. Yeah. Look at your toes. Now take your hand on the block. Actually, take the block in front of your foot. We'll try it that way. So in the low position, and connect your upper arm with your inner thigh. Like midway between the thigh. Yep. With your arm, press that thigh bone back. And then inhale, extend your spine. Take the arm long by your ear here. So just notice here, top of the right thigh bone is dropping, both heels are moving. You can find a balanced in breath, balanced out breath. Notice any resistance that shows up, instead of wishing it away, just kind of consider it a teacher. Like what subtle shift might I make so that my breath stays low and my body stays open. Take the top hand out, keep your legs just as they are. And then on an in breath, come up into your two. Find that balanced breath, inhale, spine hips. Exhale, hips to heels, root. Spin the palms up, reach through your fingers. On an inhalation, take your arms overhead, straighten that front leg. And then exhale, reach your hands to your heart and your hips. You set that block behind you again. And spin your right heel towards the back edge of your mat, your left heel out. Take your hands to your hips. Take that left hand from the thigh crease right at the top of your left thigh bone. So this will take your back heel. So exhale your breath, connect with ground here. Feel the heels, the balls of both feet press, and then look at your left foot. With your left hand, just invite the top of the left thigh bone to drop. So that's what moves the legs, not so much bending the knee. Just drop, 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 drop. Feel that connection with ground here. Take your forearm once again on the inner thigh and press gently back. And just feel that opening here. You can stay there if that feels like that's my sweet spot. Or you can take the block in front of the ankle. And use the arm connecting with the inner thigh to just invite that thigh to turn a little more out. On top of the thigh, when we drop a little more. Feel the heart to the ceiling. Inhale, take that arm long by your ear. And from the back here through the top fingers, feel that long in breath. Balanced by the grounding out breath. Inhale the top hand out, look towards your thumb. Keep your legs just as they are. Really feel the ground of your heels, especially the back one. And then come on up to the into. Long breath. Round it out breath. Looking in, you start in the dressing machine and be reaching the right hand towards the back of your neck. A little more to feel centered in your spine, balanced in the bottom of the breath. Spin the palms out. Inhale, straighten the leg from your arms over. Exhale, heels to hurt, to hips again. Spin your back foot forward, and once again, take your blocks in front. Up to a stand with your knees and your hips. Walk your feet in first. So heels in, toes out. Feel the heels press. Take the hips back, bend your knees, take your hands to the thighs. Good, yeah. And then inhale, extend the spine long. Exhale, fold from the hip crease, take your forearms on the inner thighs. Press back, let your head drop in. Find your breath here. As you exhale the breath, just feel that connection with the ground. The top of your thigh bones where your hands were on that last pose. That's where you want to think about dropping. The upper thigh bone or the hip crease. And then feel that connection when that drops, the heels press a little more. And you take one hand and the other to the top of your thigh bones. Now press down to lift up. Bring your heels to your hips. Spin your heels out again. Exhale, feel your heels connect. Bring your heels to the front thigh bones. Press the thighs back, come forward. Bring your heels in the blocks. Inhale into a flat back here. Feel the heels connect. Feel the spine lengthening. And then from the hip crease, as you exhale your breath, just fold over. The pelvis leads the way. Fold over the legs. Take your hands to the outer ankles. Roll the elbows forward. Find your ground here. Hips to heels really rooted. Inhale, lift your head up, bring one hand and the other back to your blocks. Find that flat back position here, lots of length in your spine. As you exhale, feel the hips to heels connect with them. And take your hands to your hips, take your elbows back. Step your feet, put your legs to the shape. And now take your blocks like this in the middle of it. So they are in the lower position next to each other, and take a blanket over the blocks. Move your blocks back a little bit. Take your right foot in front of your blocks and your left foot back. So we're going to come into a different way of doing the supported pigeon pose. So take your blocks back. Yeah. Lift your left heel, bend your right knee, and take your hands to the floor. So far, so good. Your right foot, you're going to walk it towards your left knee. You're going to lower your left knee to the ground. And take your right knee towards your right hand. So where you want this block blanket combo to support you is right under the right thigh, between your sitting bone and your knee, not on your left thigh. My left thigh is free and clear, so you see me back and your blocks quite a bit, even more. There you go. So right thigh bone is grounded. And if you have any knee discomfort, modify as you need, but if you can, ankle and knee are lined up in such a way that your shin is parallel to the front edge of your neck. Yeah, and then lift and turn your thigh bone, your rotate rather your skin of the thigh up towards the ceiling a little bit. Tuck your left toe under and turn that left thigh bone forward. And then inhale, lift your chest up. So nod your head inside, feeling it here, and meet your thigh and back leg, yes. Walk your hands a little forward now, and uncurl the toes in the back of the leg. Find that lengthening in breath. So you want to turn your pelvis towards the front of your mat, just like in triangle pose or in side angle pose. So for most of us, that means we got to work a little more to turn that left thigh in. Walk the hands a little more forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, find the ground, that right thigh bone connecting with your supports. And then maybe walk your hands a little bit to the right, keeping your hands plenty wide apart. So now when you inhale the breath, notice a little more space between the left hip and rib cage. Yes, yeah. So turn as much as it feels good to you. Bend your elbows, do or don't bend your elbows. Just kind of coming into this shape. Pretty deep into the hips, likely in the outer right hip. And then also in the space above your left hip bone, between the hip bone and the ribs. Just inhale, feel the spine lengthening like we've been doing. Exhale, feel the ground connection. The thigh bones, the other hips connecting with the ground. Then walk your hands back so that your wrists are under your shoulders. Tuck your left toe under. You slide that left knee forward. Slide your right knee to the right and come back with your foot on the floor into a lunge. So your left knee is down, your hands are on the underside of that right foot. Your knee on the floor, your back up. And then inhale, find that length in your spine. As you exhale, let your body weight just shift forward. Now tuck your left knee under side, left foot a little more forward, come back up to stand. And step that left foot forward. And just take a couple of steps and notice right side, left side. And that will go through. Keeping your left foot forward, take the right foot back. You can always get into this from all fours. I should have said this from the beginning. If this feels like kind of too much. So if you want to come from stand, if you want to come from all fours, just come on to all fours and take the left foot forward. Otherwise, lift your right heel up. And counterbalance by moving forward through the upper body, which the left heel, right heel at the back, and take your hands down. Come to a lunge. Lower your right knee behind the blocks. Walk your left foot to the right knee. And then take your left knee towards the left knee. Again, you're looking for the left thigh bone now to be on your blocks. Not your right thigh at all. My right thigh is not touching the blocks at all. Tuck your right toes under at first. And then draw your spine forward and turn both hip pointers towards the short edge of your mat. Inhale, find your breath, find that lengthening in your spine. Uncurl your right toes, come outside of the foot, press down. Pinky toe too. This is if your pinky toe is pressing, then that right thigh is turning in, that's what you want. Walk your hands a little forward. Inhale, find that length in your spine. Good, exhale, find that ground in your thigh bones. Walk your hands a little forward again. Inhale, find that length in your spine. And then start to walk your hands a little left. So take your time, go slow, do little micro experiments. Find your in-breath, feel that space between your right hip and your cage now. Notice both sides certainly feel different. As you exhale your breath, just allow your body to come into this space without forcing it, just kind of asking your body what feels good, how far forward or how far to the left feels good to you, and then find that balanced breath here. Even in this shape, as you inhale your breath, feel like a river of breath is getting a little more space along the full length of your spine. And as you exhale the breath, really connecting with that feeling of ground, your thigh bones, your leg bones, your hips. Slowly walk your hands up. If you're tightening the hamstrings, this pose, because our outer rotators are often what's restricting forward bending the hamstrings, this pose is a great way to practice. To come out, tuck your right toes under, slide your right knee forward, and take your left foot over towards the left again, and come back into the lunge. You send your body forward. Finding that ground in your front heel, especially in front thigh bone, hip joint, dropping down. Really lifting it up. You bring that heel down and then come on back up. Step that foot forward. Take a couple of steps and give yourself a little walk on the same see that. You notice it, see? Yes, that's your tight spot left too. Yeah. Take your take your two blankets, just blocks and blanket like they are, slide them off your mat. And take your other blanket and have a seat on it. If you're tired in the low back and hips, use a double fold. Otherwise, a single fold is fine. And with this step, you're going to use this. Depending on you, so for now, just have these blocks in front of you. Let's say like that. Your blanket nearby, you're gonna figure out what works for you. So we're gonna come into a loose bound ankle. So loose means soles of the feet are together, heels are together, but there's plenty of space between my heels and my thighs. For now, take your hands to the front of your ankle bones. Roll forward in your sitting bones. So rolling forward in your sitting bones should literally feel like I'm sitting in the front of my sitting bones. And awareness that your sit drum is a little bit to the forward. You'll find it balanced in breath here, in upward lift. As you exhale the breath, press into the heels. And just in your mind's eye, draw a straight line from your inner groin to the inner knees. And see, can you extend in a way that feels balanced right and left side. From here, invite from the pelvis, invite your spine to come forward. And pause, inhale, re-extend the spine. So here's where the blocks come in, and move closer to you. And put a blanket on top, and you can take the blocks as high as you need to. Whatever height works for you, with a blanket on top, so that you can rest your forehead in a forward bending position. It feels like I can't do that. My head's not going to touch the block, no matter how many blocks high I go. It's okay. But come back to kind of re-extend. You can put your hands, so you can see the hands. Put your hands in that front block. Inhale, find that length in your spine. From your hip crease, fold in, and let your forehead rest. Yeah, so try your blocks on the inside of your legs. Great. Yeah, take your glasses off. So let your elbows kind of be wherever it feels more restful for you, on your legs or on your blocks. Let your inner gaze move towards your heart center. And just observe your breath here, noticing, especially in this shape, that feeling of rounding, your inward folded, inward focused. And with each exhalation of your breath, just notice the parts of your body that let go a little more deeply. Inhale slowly, lift your head. And take your blanket and blocks of the belly. Bring your hands to the back of your thighs, the trees, second through the legs. And then just watch me work on the last pose. You're gonna take, depending on you, blanket in a half fold or a tri-fold, maybe even a blanket on a block. So we're looking for the forehead again to rest on something. And then for your hips, if you can sit like I am with your hips and your heels, you don't need another blanket. If you have space there, just use a blanket to fill the space. You're going to come into a forward folding position with your hands by your feet, your forehead rested on a blanket. Multiples. So take your time getting whatever blanket height, again, height in front matters, so you can put blocks underneath your blanket to lift it up. So starting out sitting like this, if your sitting bones are not connected with your heels, do put a blanket between. And then bring your hands forward, kind of partway forward. And then inhale, find that length in your spine first. So when you come forward, think about moving from the pelvis. And then adjusting the distance of that blanket so that you can tuck your chin a little towards your chest. And rest your forehead. If you have glasses, it's helpful to take them off. Rest your forehead on the blanket. Notice the back of your skull. And think of it extending forward towards the top of your head. So it's the chin tuck, yes, but it's also lengthening the back of the skull towards the tip of your head. And then walk your hands back by your feet with your palms up. Find your breath here. Notice the gentle rise of the in-breath. The slow release of the out-breath. Your body responding to each phase of breath. Just observe what that awareness opens up for you. Good, and then slowly bring your hands back in front of your knees with your palms flat. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Take your time coming up slowly from your hips. Head stays down. Then walk your hands to the top of your thigh bones. And you just slowly lift your head up. And come on to your backs. Just have your blankets off to the side. Do have an eye pillow or a strap or a blanket for your eyes. Just gonna grab some for folks in the room. Then come onto your box. And start out with your blankets just off to the side. You can use them in a moment if you need them, but start out with them off to the side. With your feet flat on the floor. And the back of your head rooted to the floor. And just observe your body in this shape with your knees bent. Notice the back of your body. And then extend your legs one at a time. And check in here with your hands by your side. And just ask your body, do you need more support to feel balanced here? Your head is sloping back. You might want a blanket under your head. Your low back is uncomfortable in any way. You might want to roll under your knees. So take whatever you need and then take an eye pillow or a blanket or something to cover the eyes. It's nice to block out the light when you're in Shavasana. And take your time in setting yourself up in a way that you feel balanced. Aware of the right and left arms and legs being equally spread in the middle of your body. And then aware of every part of the back of your body that's connected with the floor beneath you, just gently resting. And noticing those touch points in the back of your body. And then return your awareness to your breath. Noticing the flow of your in-breath as if it's flowing from your toes, up the front of your body, up the front of your spine, and to the top of your head. And noticing the flow of the out-breath as if it's rolling down the back body. The touch point at the back of your head. Flowing all the way down to your heels, noticing each touch point between the back of your head and your heels as you exhale the breath. You simply observe the flow of your in-breath at the front body, and the flow of your out-breath from the back body. That sense of balance in your body and your breath. You can start to tune in a little more deeply to the nuanced sensation of the exhalation of your breath. You're feeling it every bit of your back body. And surrendering a little more deeply into the surface beneath you. Just have a willingness to completely let the body go. Surrendering the body. Releasing any residual tension. And wanderings of the mind. Gently returning your awareness to the deep sense of ground back of your body. Surrendering to earth beneath you. Completely let go. You're at home, you can stay here longer, do ready to transition back, notice the sensations of the front body then. The light touch of air on your skin. Sensation in the center of your palms. The air between your fingers and your toes. And gently bring one hand to rest on your abdomen, one on your chest. You feel once again breath in your body. Your body responding to your breath. You gently bend one knee out and the other. Roll to your side, resting for a breath or two with your eyes closed as you curl inward. Keeping your chin tucked, press down with your hands. Slowly guide yourself back up to a seat. Finding a seat of balance. Right side, left side, front body, back body. And find the breath in, maybe lift to the spine. The breath out, giving connection to the body and earth. Bringing your hands by the side, placing the awareness of the rise in one hand and the root in the other hand. As you bring your hands to Ajna Mudra, placing an intention just about that awareness, balancing energy, rising and burning for the rest of this day. Namaste. Thank you guys for being here online in person. Thank you.